Hello and welcome to Hixxy Studio. In this video I'm going to show you how to make this card. I've made it as a birthday card, but it'd be equally good as a Christmas card if you're already into your Christmas card making. I know some people start really early. So I have used this stamp from Nelly's Choice. I've got the acetate bit here so you can see, and it's called Snowy House. Let me just check that. Snowy House, yes, it's called Snowy House. And I have literally just stamped it in black and used some various sparkly things to make it shimmer a little bit. And that's pretty much it. So let's get going. We are going to start by stamping the image. Just grab my piece of card and my stamping thing and grab a block. That's the word. Now it's designed sort of for a slimline card, so you do need quite a long block for this, or you can do it in your stamping platform. And quite often I do use the stamping platform but I haven't used it for this one. Okay, so it's a lovely stamp, and as I said, in this one, I'm doing it really sparkly and snowy as it's designed, but there will be another video on the YouTube channel which uses this in a very different way. It's I use a lot of masking, and we make it into more of a a summery kind of picture. So we kind of make it disguise the fact that it's snow. So don't look at this and think snowy house, it's only for sort of wintry things or for Christmas, because you can just by the way you paint it, colour it in, that will sort of affect the way it looks. So I am going to heat emboss this. So I'm just grabbing my my powder and the like, and make sure I don't put that over, and then I am going to stamp this onto my card. And I'm just, because I'm not using my stamp press, I am just going to take my time to make sure that I have pressed down on all the bits I tend to not get are those little bits of the chimney. Okay, fingers crossed. There we go. And I'm quickly going to add my embossing powder over the top. My hair has just decided it's going to flop all the way over my face, so I can't see what I'm doing. Just make sure we've got everything covered there. That's it. Tap that off. So put that on there. I'm going to put my embossing powder back in the little pot before I do anything else. Okay. All right, so let's get the heat gun on. I'm going to emboss this. I don't need that now either, so just move that out of the way. So I've just used versafine clear ink, which isn't particularly for embossing, but it does give you a beautifully crisp image, but it gives you just enough time to get your embossing powder onto it. And so I've used just a clear embossing powder, and I'm embossing it because I just want the whole thing to be quite shiny and sparkly, and just by embossing it, it just gives it that added little bit of shine. Okay, so just let that cool down. I think I've got all of it done. Yes, I've got all of it done. Right, okay, so now I am going to grab my tile, and I am going to grab, bizarrely, now this is an ink pad that I use rarely. I have to say rarely, because it's white. But I have used it on this because I want to use the Pixie Sparkle highlights to paint with, But rather than just mixing it with water, I just wanted something a little bit more to bind it with. So I am using Distress Ink Picket Fence. So when I put this on my tile, you're not going to see it. You might see it as a little bit wet, but you're not really going to see it. But it's for me, it just gives that extra little binder to the Pixie Sparkle highlight. So this is Frozen Pearl. So this is the silvery one. Now Pixie Sparkles and Pixie Powders tend to have pigment in them, but the two highlights, this one and there's a gold one, I think it's called either Molten Gold or Molten Lava, have no pigment in. They just have the sparkle in them. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of a spray with my spray gun there. And I am going to use this to literally go over pretty much everything apart from the brick and the windows. But I am going to give this a little bit of a mix. So I've mixed up, you can see, hopefully on my paintbrush, you can see it's not just the sparkles, that there is some white on there too. And I'm going to go over, ooh, now I can see a little bit that I missed. Bear with me. As soon as I put the water on that, that's going to disappear. Just the top of the tree there. Unless I knock the embossing powder off, we'll soon find out. There we go. Yes, I just missed that little bit. Very easy to do. So just this little bit here. So I am going to literally just go over. Now it looks like it's not really doing much, but it is. It's adding this really, like, you can see where it's pooling on the embossing, which is why I've done the embossing, so that it actually sort of resists it as opposed to just sitting on the top. So I'm going all the way over this, all the trees, and then all over this snowy area here. Keep looking at the light to check where I've actually got my ink on the path, all over this snowy area. And as it dries, you'll start to pick up the sparkle more. All over here. And having the embossing just makes this so much easier. You're not having to sort of worry about where you're going. You're just going over a lot of it, and the embossing will resist what you don't want. And I'm going to do the roofs of the cottages because they are also covered in snow. So we'll get some on there. Just catching the light to see where I've still got some paint. Like so. There we go. So all of that is now got a nice little sparkle on that. So we're just going to put that to one side for a moment and let that dry. Just rinse my brush off. Now I have the other thing I've done on this is use some of this, which is Cosmic Shimmer, the Cosmic Twinkles. This is Polar White. Now you can either wait and do this once you've got everything stuck down, or you can do it and let it dry. And I have got one that's already dried, but I will put it onto this one later to show you how to do it. So let's put that to the side and let's get the other bits for our card. So I have used sometimes we get die sets and we use them for a whole card and then kind of forget about them, but sometimes it's nice to go back to this. And this one is Janine's Art Humming Bees. It's called Strawberry Trellis, and I just wanted something to just go behind here, just to add a little bit more interest, because the image itself comes up quite small on a slimline card. So I just wanted something that was going to go sort of behind. So I have, oh, bear with me, I need to grab a piece of card to cut. I definitely have that in thing. I forgot to cut myself a little bit. So this card is the right way, Foundations Pearl card. It's steel. And the other card that I'm using, apart from the stamping card, is Couture Pearl, the white one. So it's all got a nice shimmery feel. So I'm just going to grab a piece of card. Ah, look, there we go. No, no, I will use this. We'll cut myself a little bit off of here just to cut. I have already cut one, so because I've got two on here. It just gives a little bit of background. So always go back through your sort of old dies, if you like, and see what you can just bring in. It doesn't need to be like the whole die set. You can just use little elements like this just to add a little bit more interest on a card that just needs that something. So let's just pop that through. Okay. Mess everywhere, excuse me. I will clean the floor later. Let's check this is, yeah, that's cut. I think we can see that that's cut. Every bit. So this is a really lovely little trellis, and there's also a lovely little swirl in there as well. So yeah, it's a nice one to just bring out again. Add, I think. Well, those could be kept for something. I'm not going to, but you know, one of those ones that if, at home I would put all of those into a little tub or things like shaker cards and like. Right, I'm going to grab my. No, I'm not. It's fallen out. I didn't need to grab anything. It's already fallen out. So there we go. That's from the excuse me, Janine's Art Humming Bee trellis. So let's have a look. I've already got my my base card, which is from my Centura Pearl. This is the same Foundations Pearl Steel. I've got lots of nice little mats and layers there. And then I've got my, I already had two there, but two bits of the trellis to go on. And then what else do I need? Oh, and these are for the sentiment. Okay, we'll do the sentiment in a moment. Let's put these together first, and then I will show you what I would do with the Cosmic Shimmer Twinkles, just to add. It adds not only some more sparkle, but it adds a little bit of texture and a little bit of dimension at the same time. So let's get these. Right, I'm going to put this pin somewhere safe. I keep losing it. It's one of the things. I have lost more of those pins. I have more of these empty bottles with no pin in than and I can't ever find a stainless steel pin that actually fits it, so I end up having to buy new ones, new bottles. Right, let's get this mounted up. Woo-wee. Go. So this is going to go towards the top of my card. It like so. And then I'm going to drop that. That's okay, because I've still got two on the table, not to worry. I'm going to get my really fine tip glue applicator. And this is one that you could, if you wanted to, you could use a spray glue with. But what I'm going to do is just, I'm going to put, yeah, there we go. I'm going to just put a little dab of glue on every sort of cross point, every joint, if you like, of the trellis. And then that should be enough to hold this in place. So we're going to put one here. So what this does, it brings down this image into this bottom part of the card. It sort of joins it up rather than it just being sat there with this big empty space here. Just something that just sort of makes the card flow a little better. So same on this one, a little dab of glue on each of the joints. like so, and sort of matching up the little bits there. A little bit of glue. There we go. So those are now ready. I'm going to stamp. I said I was going to do the cosmic twinkles, but I'm going to actually do the sentiment first. So that's ready. Now I'm using Julie Hickey's Everyday Sentiment Stamp. This is a lovely little set. Tiny. I say tiny. It's not a tiny little set. It is a little set, but it is actually really versatile because everything's sort of broken up. You can use Happy Birthday, Happy Mother's Day, Happy Father's Day, Happy Anniversary, thinking of you, thank you. Yeah, all sorts of you are amazing. There's all sorts of combinations that you can get from this little set, which I think is really quite fabulous. So I need to find a little, let's go with this one. It's probably too big, but it will do. I need to stick. Right, so we're doing happy birthday, happy and birthday. My stamps are very well used and they need to just be washed with a little bit of water, just so that they become sticky again. Sometimes your cling stamps lose their stickiness and you just give them a little bit of a wash and the cling comes back, and mine are getting to that point. Right, so I have already cut my piece of card and I'm going to use the versafine Claire again to stamp my sentiment like so, and there we go. There we go. Oh, and I actually, if I'm quick, I should be able to emboss this as well so that it matches the image. Otherwise that would be quite matte and flat, where we've got a nice embossed image. Okay, just move that to the side and I'm going to put that back in. Okay. Oh, there it is. Completely lost it there. Use this one. I think I might have knocked some of it off at the end. There we go. I'm going to turn it round so that I don't burn my fingers. There we go. Get that stuck onto these, and then I will show you how I use the cosmic twinkles. So as you can see, this is really not a huge amount to it, but it actually looks really, really effective. So this is something that if you did use it as a Christmas card, that would be really easy to batch make. So that's going to go there. Right, let's bring this in. I'm not going to use this one because it's going to need to dry. But let's grab the cosmic twinkles. I'm just moving everything else out the way so that we don't get in a pickle. Right, so this is essentially a glitter glue, but it's really, really sparkly. It's beautiful for adding all sorts of accents to all sorts of colours. But it works really well with this, and it gives a little bit of dimension. It does dry flatter than when you first put it on because the sort of the more moistury part soaks into the card. So I am going to use this on the roofs and on like the ground where the snow is, not on the trees or anywhere else, just on there. So I'm just getting the air bubble out at the beginning of it. So you'll see it comes out, you see how it's coming out like a quite thick. So I kind of use the applicator to spread it. So I'll squeeze a bit out and then start to spread it around. I'm not bothered that it's not smooth. I'm not really after that. I'm just after a little bit of additional sparkle and texture. So I've done the sort of the grassy area that way, and I'm going to now do the same. So squeeze a bit out, spread it, squeeze a bit more when you need it. Use the sort of the applicator part to spread that around. Up there. Now, like I said, there are two ways to do it. I always prefer with when using these kind of glittery glue things to let them dry before you then do anything with. But you could stick this to the card and then put it on. So I'm not going all over the top of the roof because it's sitting more on the top parts, and you can see where the shading is where the snow isn't, if you like. So just sort of bring that down into there, and then just a bit here, like so. Now that does take a while to dry because I put it on quite thick. So I have got one that I have already done and allowed to dry. So that's this one here. You can see, oops, this is where I put it. You can probably hear, you can feel the texture of it, and it does give another sort of sheen, so another dimension. You've got little background sheen, sparkle on the trees. You've got that lovely sort of gloss of the embossing, and then you've got this sort of more in your face sort of glitter. So I'm going to cut this right down, as in along where the path is, up the side of these trees. You could leave a bigger border if you want, but I decided to do it this way. So where's the path? There's the path. So we're going to. So I'm not butting up against there because I don't know. If you'd put it in your stamping platform, then you would know that you stamped it straight. But I don't feel like I have stamped this straight, so I'm just trying to line up the stamp with the edge of my guillotine. There we go. And then going up the side where that tree is. And then I need to leave a bit. I say a bit. I'm going to leave more than a bit, and then I can always cut it down. I can't add it back on. Do that. And then I'm going to cut there. So you can see that you certainly wouldn't be able to do this cutting bit while that was wet. Oh, there we go. That's fine. That's absolutely perfectly fine. I tell you what, I can see now why I was thinking that's a bit. I didn't put this bit on. I'm going to go with that. Let's go with it like that. I need to, yeah, I was thinking, why is that not looking quite right? I forgot this layer, which should be under the trellis, but actually doesn't really make too much difference because, as you can see, so it only would be an extra little bit that's showing. So we can deal with that. We can do that. So let's put this one on. Like so. And then as you see, this one then fits. Oh, you see now it fits perfectly that way, and I just need to slice a little bit off the top. Which is absolutely what I said, wasn't it? That I would need to potentially slice some off the top, if that fits now. Yes, that will do. That will do. That will do nicely. So let's get this stuff on. I realise that I haven't prepped a little ribbon for this one, little bow, but that's no problem. We can just leave it like this. In fact, I might Just having a think. Let me stick this on, and I think I've got possibly some little pearls we could put on instead. So let's put this on, and let me just have a rummage. So I think I know where I've got some little pearls. Oh, look at that. Almost as if I knew I would forget the ribbon, so I put some extra pearls in for a different project. So there we go. We'll put these on. Where should we put those? We can put them. I think we'll put them. I don't know actually. No, I'm kind of like doubting myself. Now I'm not going to put them on. I think it needs the bow, but it can do without the bow as well. I don't think the pearls will work, but it was worth a try. So here we go. There you go. So what I've used then, let's have a quick recap. I've used this Nelly's Choice. It's from the Idyllic Floral Scenes collection. I'll bring that one back in so you can see it with the bow. It's from the Idyllic Floral Scenes collection. It is called Snowy House. And you can see it's there. It's 17.5 centimetres by 5 centimetres. It's definitely for a slimline card. It is quite narrow for a slimline card, but you can, if you've got lots of those lovely light layering dies, then it will work perfectly. I have also used the Julie Hickey Everyday Sentiments, and then to add some little sparkle, we've got our Pixie Sparkle highlights, and I used some Cosmic Shimmer, Cosmic Twinkles in Polar White. There will be as another video that will use this stamp in a very different way. So if you're looking at this thinking, oh, it's just like for Christmas, have a look at the other one and you can see a completely different way to use this stamp. Thank you for joining me.